Hello and welcome to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Nina Addeo, a social media marketing expert specific to the wedding industry. On this show, I discuss tips to help you DIY your social media, as well as getting the confidence and income to outsource it. Thank you for allowing this episode to come through on your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever it may be you're listening from today. Now, let's take your wedding business to the next level. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. But we're doing something different today. I am zooming it. So thank you guys for tuning in, both on the podcast and on YouTube. I've recently been experimenting with YouTube, uploading some shorts as well as podcast content when possible. So today I decided to record this podcast episode over Zoom so that we could have video to go along with it. So if you're listening on YouTube, be sure to give a like and maybe even comment below, because we're slowly growing this together, right? So last week on the podcast, and this was just on the podcast, I was joined by client and friend Krista Graham Events, where we discussed our experience at the Wedding MBA convention in Las Vegas. Spoiler alert, it was good. But we gave you all the tips and tricks we considered to make it a good experience, as well as what we learned for next time. So the Wedding MBA convention is a big wedding merchants business academy where you can hear different speakers talking about sales, tuxedos, floral arrangements, everything. They're talking about our niche totally in one place together. So it's definitely something you should check out at weddingmba.com, or listen to our podcast to hear what I thought about it as a service provider for wedding pros, and as well as what Krista thought about it as a wedding vendor. So you get those two different perspectives. But this week, I want to talk to you about something that is relevant to this time of year. It's not necessarily a business topic or not a traditional business tip, but this can distract me from my business, and it's getting annoyed. It's getting annoyed. I get annoyed all the time and often too easily too. But here's what I want to remind you of this season. And really, I am trying to remind myself of this, okay? Be kind to unkind people because they need it most. Some of us who loves the holidays, right? That's totally me. Get caught up in the joy and excitement of it, and that everyone shares it, but not everybody does. Not everybody's. I get so excited for the Christmas music and everything, but not everybody feels this way. The holidays make some journeys harder for people. Some grieve more this time of year. Some people lost someone this time of year. Now it makes it all so much harder. Some people are dealing with depression at an enhanced level this time of year. And some, definitely us in the wedding industry, are working extra hard during the holidays. For those of us in hospitality, the holiday season means working Christmas Eve night, Christmas morning, maybe even at night too, New Year's evening, probably up again for New Year's Eve, New Year's Day brunch. I remember it would start off Thanksgiving. My husband and I used to just do Thanksgiving breakfast together as our like tradition, because then we'd both be working. So it can also lead to a lot of stress. There's financial stress too for people. You want to be able to deliver and gift and give, and sometimes you can't monetarily do that. So sometimes when life gets stressful, grief gets high, when depression is flaring, people can be unkind. And my instinct in these scenarios is rarely this noble. All right, the other day someone was rude to my mother, and all I wanted to do was stick up for my mom, which would mean saying something to this person about it and kind of being maybe kind of catty back. But this person I knew was also experiencing their own stresses and issues. I had to stop and remind myself that, and get over my own anger and annoyance to remind myself what's their experience right now. Why would they be doing this right now? When my mom is trying to do something nice, and suddenly when I really tapped into it and thought about it, lashing out no longer felt like the right thing to do. How does this relate to us as business owners? So I mean, I'm sure this may have happened to you guys on Instagram, but I've had people message me on accounts with angry messages, and then I just want to be as nasty back. But that's not going to do any good for me or for the client I represent. Or maybe somebody leaves a scathing review, maybe even an untrue one, because those happen. Our instinct is to sometimes you just want to go into the same tone, the same nasty tone, but that never works. Breathe, wait, and reply with dignity and kindness. Even for the negative reviews, you will be able to overcome them, because what people see not only is the negative review, and you can tell when somebody's being far fetched and crazy. And then what you see is the response, and you want to see the person responding with reason and manners. You know, if you have something in your contract to support you, you can just nicely mention it, whatever it is. And, I want to be clear that grief, depression, stress may not justify their behaviors. It doesn't, but we can only control our actions. And I don't want you or your business to be in a place where you have to justify yours. So that is my holiday message. If you want to work with me this holiday season, I currently have an offer to do Instagram audits where I'll film a video like this if you're on YouTube, where you see me, and it will be me screen sharing, going through your Instagram, your bio, your captions, your posts, your photos, etc., telling you what you can do to make it better, what changes I would make, and so forth. The whole shebang of what I would do. I also have 90-minute strategy calls where it's you and me. And for 90 minutes, I'm telling you what I would do if I was doing your social media marketing, where I'd be getting photos, what I'd be doing. I'll give you the different hashtag sets of what I'd be using. I go into the whole action plan. The only difference is you're implementing it and not me. And then lastly is my full service social media packages. So that we do on an individual basis, where I have to learn more about your business and what you are looking to achieve. So you can contact me on my website to hear more about that. But for now, thank you for being a part of the I Do Wedding Marketing podcast. And I will be back next week, where I will be chatting with Emily Lee from By Emily Jane about optimizing your website to be mobile, for a good mobile experience. That's going to be really great. Thanks, guys.